Welcome to the Sauce Pod. I'm Taylor, your host. I'm here to bring you all the good news. If you're not subscribed to us on Substack, definitely check us out. That's where you can find all of our content, our weekly newsletter. And don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Check out what we've got going on there. You can catch us wherever you stream your podcasts. Let's get into the news today. Quite a bit of AI news to cover. So starting with Meta, which has officially introduced Voicebox, which is basically like GPT, ChatGPT if you're familiar with it, but for speech. It's a multilingual text-to-speech AI model. They announced it last week. They're calling it Voicebox, and this means it's going to bring a bunch of possibilities for podcasters, voiceover artists, other audio-focused creators, and content creators all around. So the details are that it's a generative text-to-speech model. It spits out audio clips, and it allows you to edit them. It also has AI-driven editing capabilities. It's multilingual, which means that it's trained on thousands of hours of audio in several different languages, and I believe that they're going to be adding more. And not only does it mimic speech, but it also edits speech too. So if you have like a dog barking in the background or somebody in the background of your video, some audio that you want to cut out, you can do that. Voicebox will clean it up for you. It's not public yet, but when it is, I think it'll be a game changer, and a lot of other AI models focused on audio creative will probably follow suit. And it has a lot of implications for things like podcasts or in-game NPCs, non-playable characters, so you could actually have conversations with them. So definitely something to keep an eye on. Okay, so Google, let's talk about Google for a second. Google has been kind of on an AI hot streak. Last week, they announced a ton of new AI-related updates, including updates for Barb, additions to Search Generative Experience, which if you guys remember is in beta. I think they call it Google Labs right now, so you can check that out. It's Google's AI-driven search engine, SGE, they call it. So there's updates there. Also, a couple new things for shopping and retail, including virtual try-on features. There's 2 new AI-powered video campaigns in YouTube. And the big picture here is that Google is betting on a future where digital engagement is going to be more and more personalized. It's going to be more interactive, more immersive. Google is actually leaning into AI more than ever to enhance the user experience across all of the surfaces that it owns, from Gmail to Google Drive Suite to all of the different products that you know and love by Google. You can bet that there's going to be some AI infusion at some point over the next year, if not already. The updates that they basically announce can be kind of categorized into 3 categories. You've got advertising, shopping and retail updates, and then you've got the search and maps updates. So on the ad front, there's 2 new YouTube campaigns, Demand Gen and Video View. These let you fine-tune your ads using AI across different formats of YouTube ad types. Performance Max, which is one of Google's ad products, a machine learning tool that continuously improves ad performance. Google's putting some investment into this, boosting it a little bit to help people get the best bids and placements across YouTube, Maps, Gmail, and Discover, or even the Google Display Network. Search ads are also being tested in the search generative experience, where Google is planning to put regular search ads and sponsored recommendations in its AI search snapshots. On the shopping and retail front, you've got virtual try-on, which is where you can actually access, as a user, you can access the camera and see how clothes look on different body types. Google has used hundreds of different models to create references from, all of which you can try on with this virtual try-on feature. It's still being tested, of course, but there are a couple brands that are already using it, brands like Everlane and H&M. So if you are a retailer or you are product focused, it's just something to keep in mind to kind of give more context to people who are shopping for your products and give them a more immersive experience. Again, Google is going all in this interactive, immersive, future-focused digital experience that we're all living in. So that's Google. Well, not everything from Google. Bard is getting delayed in the EU. All of Google's AI hot streak aside, Google is actually playing the waiting game in the EU right now with over 27 countries with the release of Barb. And the reason for that is because regulators are kind of giving the data and privacy practices a closer look. Google's sort of been in hot water over the last, couple years, if we're being honest. And so it definitely could take some time to hash out the fine print. If you guys remember a few months back, I think we reported on Google has been violating EU antitrust laws. A lot of this comes with bringing GDPR into the picture and compliance issues around data regulation. So Google, being one of the top media companies in the world, is right there in the hot seat. And it comes with massive fines as well. So Google probably doesn't want to pay that, which means that they're not going to pursue rolling it out at quick pace. It'll probably be something that we see a little bit later, if not this year, into next year. The good news is that ChatGPT is still available. Italy even lifted their ban on ChatGPT, I think like last month. So if you are in the EU or you're one of those European countries that can't access Bard, see what other options there are. I think Microsoft's Bing might be an option. ChatGPT obviously is definitely an option. And then there's tons of like open source models as well. The Beatles are dropping a new track. I didn't have that one on my bingo card this year. I don't know if you did, but Paul McCartney basically told the BBC last week that there is a never before heard track on the horizon thanks to AI. Apparently the AI was trained to recognize John Lennon's voice from an old demo and was able to separate it from like background noise and the instrumentation. And it's essentially a big deal because the Beatles, duh, but also the ability to isolate and recreate voices using AI is kind of a big glimpse into the future. Obviously, there's ethical considerations to think about. On last week's AI Space, we actually talked to Tommy Berenger, and he is the co-founder of a new platform called Traxy, or MyTraxy, I think is what it's called on Twitter if you look for it. That helps you generate like stock music, AI generated stock music and things like that. But he had a lot of really interesting insights on what the future of music could look like with this new AI wave, and the fact that the Beatles are rolling out something that's not even the first time that they're releasing something that was like previously archived. Now with all of this technology, it makes it easier, faster, and cheaper to do than ever before. So we can expect more of this to come. Paul McCartney told the BBC that it would be rolling out this year. So look for that on the horizon. Imagine a future where you're listening to artists who have been long gone for decades, or you're listening to artists when they were in their prime, singing music that's never been written before, or singing unreleased music that they never had a chance to record, or singing as featured artists on songs. Tommy mentioned on our Twitter space last week that he totally can see a future where some of the top 40 bangers that we all love and listen to are AI generated. Keep an eye on it. It's not happening anytime soon. It's not happening tomorrow, but it's something to think about. So also on the AI front, please, this is a gentle reminder to everyone who creates AI images. Proof your AI images before you publish them. Most recently, somebody needs to fact check Toronto mayor candidate Anthony Furey's campaign photos, because there's a three-armed woman, there's encampments, there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening in these images. Look, I know that AI is everywhere and it's so easy to get access to some of these image gen models. It's also really, really good at photorealism these days. But that doesn't mean that we as creators can get lazy and skip quality control. Although I do have half a mind that maybe this was part of the plan all along, because we're talking about it here. Keep an eye on that stuff. And if you ever spot any funny AI images in the wild, please send them to me. I would love to see them. Okay, have you guys heard of Zealous? This is a tooltip that I included in this week's newsletter. This is not sponsored, but if you peep the latest newsletter, you can get a discount code. So it's called Zealous One, and you can basically turn your Twitter spaces or any audio content into an audiogram. With just a few clicks, it's AI enabled, essentially can take your audio, upload it, or you can connect your Twitter account directly, and anytime you have a new space, it automatically populates there. From there, you have the option to like highlight specific moments. It also does a pretty good job of automatically generating what those key moments from your audio was. It also attributes voices and names to them. So basically the details are that Zealous is an AI-enabled content generation platform. It turns your recorded audio into content that you can actually repurpose for your audiences. The specialty is this thing called audiograms, which are pretty much just short audio videos. Here's kind of how they look. You can see the text moving, and you can really create these snippets across a variety of different formats. So if you want a square, a vertical, a horizontal, you can generate it this way. You can also customize the length of time, as well as like the branding, the logos, all of that stuff. And basically what it does is it spits it out into this motion graphic or video audiogram that you can post to LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you want. I've been putting them up on Twitter, and they've been a lot of fun to make. They're also super, super easy, so you don't have to play around with taking your audio and giving it to an editor or plugging it into a different type of tool and trying to get all of the content out of it. This just does it all in one spot, and it archives it. So it's aimed at content creators just like us and entrepreneurs who are like naturally short on time. So if you're like a builder, a solo creator, even a full-time social media marketer, this is a tool that's definitely worth checking out because it just makes that whole process very, very, very simple, very easy, and it looks so fucking good when it's done too. So I've included the link in our latest newsletter where you can try it out for free. You'll get a 10% discount off when you upgrade. Again, this isn't sponsored, but it is an affiliate link. So the only reason I'm talking about it is because we really, really love this tool. Okay, I want to talk about Twitter, and I'm going to try to get through it. So top headlines are that Twitter has been evicted. The legal woes are continuing over at Twitter. And naturally, we kind of already knew this, but Twitter is continuing to prioritize and push video content. So starting from the top, Twitter's Boulder office in Boulder, Colorado is getting the boot because they are 3 months behind on rent. The landlord's been dipping into a letter of credit to cover the cost, but the funds apparently ran dry back in March. So now a judge is literally ordering a sheriff to assist Twitter in eviction from the building by the end of July. So that's about a month away. Definitely a rough patch, something to keep an eye on. I have a feeling Elon Musk is like, wait, what? We have an office in Colorado? Why? We've talked at length in the past about how Twitter has been in hot water with legal troubles, from getting sued from PR agencies to consultants and businesses that Twitter has yet to pay their invoice on. The latest is the National Music Publishers Association, also known as the NMPA. They're suing Twitter for $250 million, claiming that the platform is hosting about 1,700 copyrighted songs without a license. The NMPA actually represents bigger names like Concord, UMPG, Peer Music, ABKCO Music, and they've got a track record of winning these kinds of lawsuits. So Twitter is probably going to start needing to tune up their defense if it goes that far. I just keep thinking about Linda. Poor Linda. I wonder how she's doing. On the front of prioritizing video, Twitter is working on a video app, possibly, it's rumored, for smart TVs. And this is likely, again, part of Twitter's push to further amp up video on the platform. The new CEO, Linda Yaccarino, and Musk have been talking up their plans to focus more and more on video content, creator collabs, commerce partnerships. So they're definitely trying to give video a little bit of a push and a facelift on Twitter. As you know, if you are a Twitter Blue user, you can actually, I think, upload up to 2 hours of video content. A few weeks back, we discussed how some people are kind of like trolling this new policy by adding full-length videos, including Shrek. I'm sure that Twitter's moderation team, if they even have one at this point, is keeping tabs on this. We also mentioned that Linda Yaccarino is in office, and yet she continues to allow Elon Musk to make the decisions. So that's what's happening at Twitter. Over at LinkedIn is removing some features. They're also testing new ones. This is always a nice little update to see or hear about. They are getting rid of a few features due to low usage. So things like carousel posts, which were once really popular for engagement, those didn't catch on as expected. Profile videos, which were introduced in 2021, also didn't get any love. They are being removed, along with clickable links in images, which was actually only introduced on LinkedIn last year. If you are still using these features, or if you've used these features recently, your posts will still be viewable with these features after the changes kick in later this month. So don't sweat that. It's just that you won't be able to use the new features going forward. LinkedIn is also rumored to be working on in-stream video ads, which is going to be a new ad format that targets users while they stream content. So this follows the introduction of AI features to help advertisers create ad content. According to Henry Price, the VP of Marketing Solutions at LinkedIn, he said that in-stream videos can change the way brands and buyers reach and engage their audiences. We know that it works really well on YouTube. We'll see how it goes for LinkedIn. Okay, let's talk about Reddit. The saga is continuing. There's a lot happening with Reddit. If you guys recall, last week, Reddit went dark because, well, moderators are protesting. And if you've been on Reddit in the last week, you might still see a bunch of these like private or restricted communities or subreddits. Thousands of these communities are protesting still because Reddit wants to charge third-party developers for using the site's data, aka they're going to be charging for access to the API. We did talk about this last week, but still things are kind of rolling along. Several top subreddits like Pics and GIFs and are back in action, while hundreds of others are kind of still laying low and blocking access. The top subs that are back online are just trying to maliciously comply by only posting nudes, not safe for work tagged stuff, which makes it harder for a community to be monetized. So people are posting only pictures of like John Oliver, only pictures of socks, and then of course you've got tons and tons of NSFW content. It's all just a cheeky sort of response to Reddit CEO Steve Huffman, who says that he isn't backing down. He suggested that users would prefer normalcy and that protesting is not going to change anything because we made a business decision that we're not negotiating on. So for right now, it's still a stalemate. The community has demand, so we will keep an eye on this one. Reddit is still accessible for now. It's just that some of those third-party apps will be shutting down soon if this API change goes forward. We'll let you guys know. Over on Instagram, broadcast channels are officially a thing. Instagram has rolled these out to all creator accounts, so you have to be a creator in order to use them, but it lets you share updates with a larger audience through your direct messages. It is not a two-way chat option, per se. Members can't directly contribute to the interaction, but you can kind of think of it like an announcement channel, like on Discord. So this is kind of Instagram's early foray into Discord or like Telegram territory, where you have these announcement-based channels where you can heart it, you can react to it, but you can't like reply or add on as though it was a thread. Also, over on Instagram, you can now add music tracks to Instagram notes, which was a feature similar to stories but used within DMs. So if you open your DMs and you see the little notes feature, which is where somebody has a text update, you will be able to now add music tracks to your Instagram notes. So good to know. This is a big one. YouTube is lowering the requirements for making money as a creator. It has officially introduced new levels to its YouTube Partner Program, also known as YPP, which allows creators to start earning earlier with fewer subscribers, watch hours, and shorts views. So with the old YouTube Partner Program, what you had to have in order to be eligible for monetization was 1,000 subscribers, as well as either 4,000 valid public watch hours in the past year or 10 million valid public shorts views in the last 90 days. With the new YouTube Partner Program, you need 500 subscribers, 3 valid public uploads in the last 90 days, and either 3,000 public watch hours in the past year or 3 million valid shorts views in the last 90 days. Covered it all in the newsletter. Definitely check it out if you want the quick rundown there. But essentially, benefits of this new requirement include earlier access to features like channel memberships, super chat, super thanks, YouTube shopping. The new tier right now is currently available right now in the US, the UK, Canada, Taiwan, South Korea, and plans are that it's going to expand to other countries soon. So this is an exciting one. It's that for smaller creators on YouTube who are going all in on creating content with the hopes of monetizing. This means that now you have an earlier entry point into the YouTube Partner Program with just needing the 500 subscribers, 3 valid public uploads, and either 3,000 public watch hours or 3 million valid shorts views. So that's everything I've got for you guys this week. Thanks for tagging along. Definitely subscribe to us on Substack, YouTube, listen to us wherever you stream your podcast, Spotify, Apple. Big news, we've also recently updated our website. It's got a brand new kind of design refresh on our homepage, so you can check us out at thesauce.foodfightstudios.com and see kind of the new approach. There's also a couple little Easter eggs that we've yet to announce officially in there, but definitely go check it out and give us some love. Always feedback appreciated. We are also open to contributors on The Sauce right now, so if you are a writer and you would love to share your story, some insights, some lessons with our community of creators, let me know. You can DM me directly on Twitter at SpaceCaseTay. You can find me on Discord, or you can shoot me an email. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll be back again with Anna next week. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week.
Guys, that's a wrap for this week's episode of The Sauce Pod. Hope you enjoyed yourself, maybe even learned a thing or two. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our newsletter that goes out every Monday night. All of the latest and greatest tips, news, and trends for content creators and digital entrepreneurs. Until next time, stay saucy.